Hello, my name is Tyson Delorme. Most of you know me as Old School Ty, and today I'm joined with one of our community knowledge keepers of Cowessess First Nation to learn a bit of our nation's story and history. Can you tell me a bit about yourself?
Oh, I was born in 1944 and I went to residential school in 1949. After 49, I stayed there till 1959, then I went to Broadview where I graduated from.
Okay, so today we have some questions about personal experience, community and culture, economic and social changes, and more.
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, so personal experience. Can you tell me about your earliest memories on the reservation?
My earliest memories. We lived in mud shacks.
Wow, really?
Yeah, we lived in mud shacks. It was a one room, but there was a kitchen and stuff there, and later on my dad kind of built an addition to it.
Wow.
Yeah, but because we went to boarding school, so I and Kelly and Sam went to residential school.
So how was life on the reservation changed since you were a child?
Big difference. I said, it's really different because there was no drugs and alcohol allowed on the reserve. They couldn't bring that into the reserve at that time. If they got drunk, they snuck it in some kind of way. And we used to go to town in a horse and buggy.
All the way to Broadview?
All the way to Broadview, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That must have been a long ride on horse.
Yeah, in a buggy. And then, what else? I grew up in a residential school, but we'd come home for the summer. And I didn't like picking. Kelly was the picker. She'd pick berries and dig cinnamoroot. I don't know if cinnamoroot is a medicine.
Oh.
And they used to sell it in town, eh?
I don't even think I even heard of that before.
Cinnamoroot, yeah. It's called cinnamoroot. Kelly and my mom would go digging it.
Oh,
and
okay.
she'd go with Mickey and, Mickey's bunch. I don't know what kid would go with that. Probably Shirley, maybe. We lived in that mud shack, and then we used to have haul water from the spring. There's a big spring right opposite the old house there. Mm-hmm. Down there, we used to have to haul our water up to do laundry.
Wow.
To do laundry, we had an old gas washer.
Yeah.
Before that, we used to have a stone boat.
Oh, really?
A stone boat, and we'd put. My mom would put a barrel on there, and there used to be a slough in the middle of the field here, this big field here,
mm-hmm.
just in front of Galen's.
Yeah.
Where there's around.
That little tree.
Yeah, there was a slough in there, so my mom would put a barrel on that stone boat, and we'd go do laundry there. We worked hard.
Yeah.
We had to work because there was no, and our work was our fun time. Like we milked cows and chased cows and watered the horses down into the spring.
Yeah.
We'd hang on to their tail going down.
Really?
We'd hang on to their tail to get a ride down to the spring. And then the horse. My dad had 3 barns, like where in between the old house and where Sherry lives.
Mm-hmm.
There was 3 barns there for the horses. The cows just stayed outside.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What traditional practices or customs did your family follow when you were growing up?
When we were growing up, we went to rain dances, sun dances, right across from Cowessess, Cowessess and Sakami, and we'd go in a buggy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we'd put a tent up, these old white tents.
Yeah.
And my dad would have straw. He'd put straw, so that was our mattress. Yeah, well, it wasn't too bad. It was just there. We even went to a pie pot in a wagon.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
We went to, I don't know, rain dance or sun dance, whatever it was.
How long did that
grew up
take?
really traditional, yeah. My mum, we used to go to rain dances and feasts. At that time, women weren't allowed inside a sweat. We had to sit on the outside of the sweat lodge, and they weren't made sweat lodges like this. They made them out of with twigs,
with bush
branches, with bush, yeah. Branches.
Oh, okay.
And that's where they'd have their sweat, and we weren't allowed to go into the sweat. We were able to sit on the outside, and after the outside, they'd have the kokums, the grandmas would be making food, and after the sweat, the men would come and eat there.
Okay. Wow.
Because I went to sun dances, I don't know what's the difference between sun dance and rain dance, really, but we went to those kind.
Mm-hmm.
Cowessess, Cowessess, and Sakami. We go in a wagon.
What can you share about the traditional ceremonies and celebrations in your community?
This year I don't go to sweats because I was brought up. My grandparents said women were allowed in sweats. I never went to a sweat yet, but I wouldn't go inside the sweat lodge. I'd sit on the outside like how I was brought up.
Okay. How have cultural practices been preserved and changed over the years?
Years back, they never got paid for dancing powwow. They never got paid. Now it's all competition and get big bucks and stuff like that. Not anymore. And the first jingle dress dance I ever seen was in Sakame. And she was a damn good jingle dress dancer. And the jingle dress dances came from down east.
Yeah. Wow.
And that was the first jingle dress, and she was a very good dancer. But they never got paid. They did it because
did it for the love of it?
For the love of it, yeah.
How has the economic situation on the reserve evolved over time?
There's no real farmers on the reserve anymore. Well, there might be some, but not like how we plow the harrow. I drove a tractor. I seen an old Massey Ferguson today at Brian's. Oh, I said, that's the kind I used to drive.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in the field. I wouldn't know how to drive it today, but it was an old Massey Ferguson because my dad was a Massey Ferguson guy. Like there's different kind of machinery. There's John Deere, Massey Ferguson, and something yellow. I don't know what those ones are called. But my dad was a Massey Ferguson guy, and there was one at Brian's. I said, oh, my dad, this kind my dad used to drive. I said, I drove one like that.
Awesome.
Because we used to have to haul wood to it.
Yeah.
We had no power or heat. We used to have to haul wood in the wintertime.
How have the relationships with neighboring communities or other reservations changed over the years?
Well, from the time I left in 1969, they used to, it was good, they try and help. If somebody was late in seeding, they'd go help. Or harvest, they all shared. I had them sitting, they called a hobo land. That was hayfields over there. You see all those old men sitting together there. They'd go and help make hay.
Okay.
They helped one another all the time. Long ago, I said we all shared and cared about one another. Today, they're just people for themselves. That's how come us older, like Alma and Myrna, at that age. Mm-hmm. That's how come we try and share. Like for weeks. We try and help. We used to go Sakame. Here, we'd bring food, Myrna would bring cake. Elma would bring sandwiches, and I'd bring the soup to every reserve. But now we're getting too old for that. And last week, a couple of weeks ago, I was in Cowessess Hall. I went and dropped some stuff off. Like share and care, like right through the reserves, People should be like that.
Yeah.
I would run and drop some soup off at my cousin. Said, make me a pot of soup. I said, and then I went early in the morning to go about 11 o'clock to start 2 pots of soup. I brought it over there. And here these young girls, 5 young mums, got there. They took over. We didn't have to do nothing. They made the sandwiches. I went there at 11 o'clock. I was staying in Grenfell. Mm-hmm. I went there at 11 o'clock. They had big breakfast there.
Oh, that's
now
good.
For the supper, everything they had. I said, boy, you girls, you're young mamas. There's 5 of them.
Yeah.
You're really smart. I said, us are young mums. I don't care if I hurt anybody's feelings.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the truth.
Yeah.
I said, some of our young mums don't even bring a sandwich to the wake.
Yeah,
Not very many of them. And that one girl said they don't, that they should have that. And they said we go to sweats, and our lady that does the sweats teaches us to do things like this. And she said, on your reserve, they're losing their identity.
How do you think the identity of the community has evolved?
I really don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Like long ago, when we go to powwows, when they choose a president or something, mm-hmm. They had a stick, and the previous president would go around with tobacco and the stick, and they'd give it to somebody. Like suppose they gave it to you, mm-hmm. Well, you'd be the president for 4 years. You do things in 4s.
Oh, okay.
Wow. 4 years. I go to a mental health camp. And I just told him, well, this is going to be my last year because I've been going 4 years. My cousin Sharon, my sister Sharon Beer told me a lot, Told me a lot. She said you do things in 4. And last year I didn't want to go because she wasn't going to be there. And then they said, no, you better come.
Is there a reason why things are done in 4?
I don't know. I never really asked that. But everything should be done in 4. Like 4 years, 4 years. Like chief and council are here for 4 years now, right? And president of the POW should be 4 years because Glenn did his 4 years and he stepped down. But then they didn't pass the stick around. They just chose.
Maybe it's got something to do with like the seasons, 4 seasons.
Probably, yeah. Because we're having cultural's having a feast on the 21st because summer starts on the 21st.
Oh yeah.
So they're having a feast.
Oh, okay.
That day. So that's when I went to the last one too. Hardly anybody was there.
What was your experience with education on or off the reservation?
I went down to Maryvale till I went to school down there 1945 till 1959. I went to school in 1949 to Maryvale.
Okay.
And then after that, they just went up to a certain grade down there, and then they had there was no grade 12 or anything down there, so they either got transferred to LeBret. Okay. Most of them went to LeBret, but some of us didn't go there. I went to Broadview, and my dear friend went to Sacred Heart Academy in Regina.
Okay.
And some went to St. Joe's.
How was the use of your native language changed over the years?
My native language, I never spoke Cree. I understood it because my grandmother spoke straight Cree. And some of the residential school took it away, but to me it didn't. Mm-hmm. I could have been talking Cree, but I wasn't interested in talking Cree because my grandmother, my mom's stepmother, she didn't talk English. My grandpa Sam T didn't talk English, straight Cree, but yet I understood it. But I didn't take the time to learn. I could understand some of it when they're talking.
Yeah.
And I could say some not very nice words, but it wasn't taught at home either.
Oh, okay.
So really, to me, I don't think residentials took away my language, because I wasn't interested in it at home. Although my grandmother, my mom's mom, stayed with us, and she was straight Cree, but I knew what she meant by like meat and bread and stuff like viash and pagoijagan and salt and pepper. Mm-hmm. Like I could tell what she wanted, like that. I can't make a whole sentence.
Yeah.
And if I was interested, I could have sat there and talked to her about. I know I find Cree kind of hard, a hard language to learn. Like so do I. I'll tell you something funny. My brother Louis Tepetat was in the hospital in Broadview, and I met Musham Shep at the door, and it was kind of raining like this, and he told me in Cree, it was raining. I understood that. So anyways, Uncle Ido always ask, well, how is it out there? How is it out there? So I really practiced going down the hallway to answer him in Cree. It was so funny. So anyway, he asked me in Cree how it is outside, and I was trying to answer him in Cree, and he just looked at me and he said, "Don't try and talk Cree because you said something not nice." I don't even know what I said, but he didn't want to repeat what I said in Cree because I totally changed it around.
Is it a swear word?
It was a swear word. He said, "Don't try and talk Cree. It's not a nice word you said." Oh, really? I told him I don't even know what I said.
Okay, so what efforts have been made to preserve and teach the native language?
Well, now they have Cree teachers down there. They never had Cree teachers when I was going to Maryvale. Of course, they were brought up by the nuns and stuff like that. There was no Cree teachers. Mm-hmm. They spoke French, so we learned French.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had French lessons down there instead of Cree. What
are your hopes for the future of the reservation and its people?
Well, I hope people teach the kids how to parents have to teach their kids to work for what they want, right?
Right.
And I don't see that. Oh, well, if you're good, we'll give you this, Mm-hmm. But you have to be good. If you do your work, well, then maybe you reward them. But not if you're good, Yeah. If you behave, we'll buy you this. But no, you have to earn what you want.
Oh,
outside,
yeah.
you be outside. No time for this iPad stuff. There's too many kids sitting there and makes them lazy.
Staying
I think,
until the lights come on.
electronics is spoiling the kids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big time.
Big time electronics. We didn't have that when we were growing up. Didn't even have a radio.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We used to have an old gas lamp. We didn't have power, old gas lamp. It had mantles like that.
Mm-hmm.
Have to pump up, put air in there so the gas would come up to those mantles.
Wow.
But that was the good years. I said I'd relive my childhood years over than what we're living now.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So what challenges do you think the reservation currently faces?
Yeah, language and culture. Like, culture is a big thing, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Like rain dances, sun dances. Like what they're doing in CAC, like teach those kids, like those young mothers now, what they're doing. Like that one girl said, they're losing their identity. That's how come they don't know how to share and care about one another. Share and care and love one another. If I see somebody struggling, well, I'll try and help in whatever way I can.
Okay.
A long time ago, they used to have cooking classes.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't waste anything on an animal. You cooked the heart, you cooked the liver, you cooked the kidney, but you didn't cook the balls. Like the chicken toe, the innards, we'd keep the heart and the gizzard, the liver, the tripe. Even a rabbit, they didn't waste anything in a rabbit. They'd fight over the head because of the brain. They'd eat the brain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, crack it on. Everybody wanted the head.
Wow. I never heard of that
It was
before.
good. The rabbit brain was good. Skin a rabbit. They should teach you, these young ones,
Yeah, no, not to waste.
not to waste. You cook everything on an animal you kill, except the innards, I guess. But there's a heart and the liver and kidney.
Yeah.
You could cook.
So how can the younger generation contribute to the community's future?
They have to be trained first before they can.
Contribute?
Yeah, they have to be taught how to do things.
Yeah, like we do have some culture camps that go on, but I think we need a lot more.
A lot more, yeah. Like right now I'm going to one, but they're mostly doing beading and stuff like that, you know. Beading and making regalia. But that's not survival living.
Yeah, yeah.
I go to this is my last year down to Cowessess. And they show them everything, how to dry the meat, how to clean a goose, you know. Dry the meat, and they take the younger ones. I said last year when I went there, the schools brought kids, but nobody from Cowessess ever came.
Oh, really?
The teachers, yeah. We had about 15 from Cowessess, and we had a few from Sakamay, and Ochapways brought us a class there too. And they showed them how to do the dry meat and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They stayed there all day.
Wow.
Teaching them.
That would be like something really good to learn too.
Yeah, yeah. Like to dry the meat, eh?
It'd be cool to have someone to teach these kids or the future how, like, what animals you can eat. Growing up, all I knew was you could eat deer and rabbits. But like, there's so much other animals that like you could process.
Yeah, like the geese and the ducks. In fact, we have 2 ducks there. Just like I don't eat duck, but I like the duck soup. You ever eat duck soup?
I think I ate it at a feast one time.
I really don't eat deer meat because I find that's what we grew up on. The deer meat tasted so much better than it does now. There's too much of spraying stuff, like they're eating too much.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because I
pesticides and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because I don't eat deer meat anymore. I said it doesn't taste like long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when I go to a feast, we didn't get any deer meat. We have elk and moose. And I don't know if you know anything about shashikanak.
Fried up fat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Indian popcorn. Yeah.
I think I tried it.
I still make that.
Yeah, I think I tried it when you made it a few times.
Yeah, a good shashikanak sandwich with onions. I brought some like that too. And the other day when I went to the feast, I brought homemade grease because I rendered some fat there. But I've been burning my shashikanak. I had too much of a long kokum nap. But the grease was good, so I brought the grease. I brought the grease to the feast there. Mm-hmm. I said I told the elder that was doing the feast, I said I have some homemade grease I rendered. I said, okay, bring it over. And I make homemade head cheese too.
Oh, yeah, that stuff. I remember you guys used to make that all the time.
All the time, yeah. Papa used to like pig feed him. He ate pig feed because everything on an animal is edible.
Yeah.
He cook. I never ate the pig feet, but he always come home with a bag of pig feet.
Yeah, I seen him boiling it one day, and I opened the big pot, and I was like, "What is that?" And that's what he told me it was pig feet.
Yeah.
Whoa.
When you live in a city like.
So, what advice would you give to the younger generation about preserving their heritage and culture?
Hunt. Survival. Because nowadays food is so expensive, eh?
Yeah.
So expensive, like, teach them how to hunt and how to clean and freeze. Nowadays, there's freezers, but long ago we didn't have freezers. My dad had he dug a big hole close to the spring down there, and it was really cool down there. That's where we keep our meat.
Wow.
Store our meat down, and halfway of the hill he dug a great big hole there, and it's cooler the further you dig, the cooler it is. So that's where we'd put our meat.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, that's something I kind of always thought of too, is how they would keep things cool and preserved without a refrigerator or freezer.
Yeah, my dad had dug the big holes, or along I'm telling on myself. In a well, there was a big deep well, and I and our friends, there was about five of us, and there was 3 guys with us, and of course we were four.
Wow.
We make her turn in her grave. We stole her garlic that time. Because you have to go to a town, horse and buggy, and come home with your stuff and try and keep it cold.
Yeah. Wow, that must have been tough to do.
Yeah, that was fun. Those were the fun years.
Yeah, the fun years.
The fun years. I said our work was like having fun. We had lots of fun.
Are there any lessons from your life that you would like to share?
Teach the kids how to work. Provide survival, because look at the food now, how expensive it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have to learn how to survive in the outside world, because they're not going to be there's not always going to be handouts,
Exactly, yeah.
You have to learn to preserve and pick berries. You ever hear of a beach lamp?
No.
We had no power, so we had no lamps either, so we make a beach lamp. It was out of oil. And you set that oil on fire and make a light.
Oh, okay.
They call those bitch lamps.
Oh, that's crazy.
That was crazy, yeah. We had these old gas lamps though. They had 2 mantles.
Mm-hmm.
They had to fill that whole thing up with gas, and you really pump out in the air would shoot that gas up into these 2 mantles, and those mantles would be burning. You could see the flame.
Wow. I guess that's the end of our podcast for today. Thank you for your time and coming in and sharing your stories with us.
Yeah.
We're going to library them here on Paradise Radio, and we'll be airing them soon.